All right, so we are going to move into our very last set of notes, which is polynomial division. So if you want to title your journal, you can do that, or you can follow along in the paper that you received from class. So I'm just going to do it in my journal because I feel like I'm not going to have enough room. So I want to make sure that I show you everything that you need to be shown. So you'll start out by filling this out in your journal. Dividing polynomials or in your paper is another way to find factors or zeros of polynomial functions. It's also a method to find out evaluating functions. So two methods for dividing polynomials. One is long division, which mirrors division with numerals, like we've done with numbers like you did in elementary school, and can be used with any number of degreed factors. So it can be used with x squared and x cubed and all of those things. Synthetic division is a shorthand method for dividing, is limited to a divisor with a degree of 1. So there are limitations to synthetic division. I'm going to show you both methods today. So we're going to use the examples from the paper that you received from class. And we're going to start with example number 1. So long, and we're going to do this using long division. So number 1 says negative y squared plus 2y cubed plus 25 divided by y minus 3. So a couple of notes here. Our first number is going to be the dividend. That's the one that goes inside. And the one here, the second one, y minus 3, is going to be your divisor. And that's going to be outside. If you ever learned the inside outside dividend divisor, like you need a visor, visor, the half hats that go outside, you need it for the sun. Anyway, that's funny. Also, we need to make sure to put this in standard form, so with our degrees written in descending order. So I'm going to write this out, y minus 3, and then we have our dividend. So my 2y cubed goes first, and then minus y squared. Notice I don't have a term of y, so I'm going to put plus 0y, and then 25. All right, so when we're doing long division, we're going to follow some patterns that we learned when dividing larger numerals. So I'm going to cover up my first one. I'm going to say y times what equals 2y cubed, or 2y cubed divided by what equals y, or divided by y equals what. So I'm going to say y times 2y squared, and I'm notice where I'm putting it above the y squared, so I have it my form right. 2y squared times negative 3 is negative 6y squared, and 2y squared times y is 2y cubed. So our goal is to eliminate these first ones, so we're going to subtract, which means that these would cancel here. And I'm going to bring down the rest, which would be 5y squared. And remember, in long division, we're going to bring our next term down, so plus 0y. And I'm going to follow the same pattern. Y times what is 5y squared? Well, y times 5y is 5y squared, so we're going to multiply both terms. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15y. And 5y times y is 5y squared. Again, we're going to subtract just like in long division, which switches our signs. Those cancel. And so we're going to add our terms here. We have 15y and bring down our last one, our last term, plus 25. So we'll follow the same pattern. Y times what is 15y? It's 15. So we multiply 15 times negative 3 is negative 45. 15 times y is 15y. So my last step is to subtract this binomial, which switches my signs, cancels my 15y's, and now we have 70. Yeah. All right, so we went over divisor, dividend, and this number now I don't have any more terms to bring down, so this one is called my remainder. So how we'll write this answer as the remainder, thinking about like if I did, the remainder tells us that this factor y minus 3 does not divide evenly into this polynomial. So it's just like if I were to say 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times, and it's 2 times 2 is 4. and we have one remainder, right? This is our remainder, and the way that we write it is a fraction. So, and you already know this just by looking at it, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, right? Because 2 does not divide evenly into 5. So the way that we write this answer is it's going to look like this: 2y squared plus 5y plus 15 plus 70 over my divisor, y minus 3. So just relate it back to our 2.5. 1 divided by 2. That's how we get that fraction over here. So we're going to box this up as our answer, and we're going to move on. So number 2, we're not going to do, so you can go ahead and X that out. And we'll move on to number 3. This one's a little bit less intense. So we're going to put our divisor, x minus 3, on the outside. We don't have to rearrange anything, and it has all of its terms. So we're going to put x squared plus 5x minus 28 and follow the same pattern. So cover up my number here. X times what is x squared? Well, x times x is x squared. So I'm going to make sure that they line up here. X times negative 3 is negative 3x, and x times x is x squared. We subtract and combine. So we have 8x minus 28. Bring this one down. And x times what is 8x? I'm going to say times 8. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, and 8 times x is 8x. This one's a little bit nicer, not as long. So we subtract. That cancels our first term, and negative 28 plus 24 is negative 4. So we have our remainder here. So our answer for this one is going to be x plus 8 minus, because we have a negative, you can say plus a negative as well, 4 over x minus 3. So that's our answer. So notice that this also, that x minus 3 is also not a factor of x squared plus 5x minus 28. So that's going to be your answer for number 3. Now let's move on to number 7, and we're going to determine if x minus 3 is a factor. I like that we're using x minus 3 for all of these. I'm not sure really why, but we're moving on to number 7. So we'll go ahead and set that up. X minus 3 is the divisor, and then x squared plus 2x minus 3. So we'll follow the same pattern. X times what is x squared? It's times x. So x times negative 3 is negative 3x. X times x is x squared. We're going to subtract those, which switches our signs. And it cancels our x squares, and then we have a 5x minus 3 here. So x times 5x, or x times what is 5x? It's going to be a 5, positive 5. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And 5 times x is 5x. So we'll subtract to eliminate. Those cancel. Add my 3 and 15, and we get 18. So because I have a remainder, that means that this is not a factor. So if it says at the bottom, is it a factor? Not a factor. So it does not divide evenly into this polynomial here. All right, let's move on to synthetic division. Synthetic division is a little bit funkier. So synthetic division you're going to use the value by setting the divisor equal to 0 and solving. So number 4 says P of x equals 3x to the 4th minus x to the 3rd plus 5x minus 1. And then we're looking at x plus 2. This is your divisor here. Oops, divisor. So we're going to say x plus 2 equals 0. What is the value of x? So we're solving for x first by subtracting 2. So we get x equals -2. So we're going to use this value as our divisor. So when we plug this into our synthetic division, this is funky, you're only going to use coefficients. So we're going to say a hint here, only use coefficients. So that's our hint. So that means I'm going to use 3, -1, 5, and -1 as my value. So we're going to set it up like this. It's going to look funny. Just follow along. You'll be okay. So I'm going to use 3 lines here. I'm going to put this -2 outside right here. And then I'm going to use my coefficients. So we have 3, -1, 5, and -1. And under this last term, I'm going to draw a little line because this little box is going to tell me what my remainder is. All right, first step, I'm going to bring the 3 down. So I'm going to bring the 3 down here, and then I'm going to multiply. -2 times 3. -2 times 3 is going to go right here, -6. Then I'm going to add these two numbers, put them together. So I get a -7. -2 times -7 is 14. And I'm going to add these together. Oh, did I forget something? Oh, shoot. Look what I forgot. I forgot an x squared. Okay. I wonder if I can edit this out because that's not good. Hint, only use the coefficients. Notice that I don't have an x squared here. So I need a 0x squared. Okay, let's try this again. Somebody was knocking at my door. I got distracted. All right, so we have -2, 3, -1, 0, 5, and -1. Blah. I hate that I messed that up after so long. Okay, so let's do this again. We're going to bring our 3 down. We're going to multiply. -6. Add those together, we get -7. Multiply, we get 14. Add those together, we get 14. Multiply, we get -28. Add those together, we get -23. And we're going to multiply one last time to get 46. This tells me my remainder, 45. So my answer here, this is going to be my constant. This is going to be my x value. This is going to be my x squared and my x cubed. So when I say 3x to the 4th minus x cubed plus 5x minus 1 divided by x plus 2, my answer is 3x cubed minus 7x squared plus 14x minus 23, and then my remainder, which is plus 45 over x plus 2. You may enjoy synthetic division more than long division. It's really up to you. Let's do another one because I need to clear that one out of my, because I've totally messed y'all up for that one. So when you plug it in number 4 here, where it says P of, this P of -2 equals 45. So I want to show you something because I did this on the calculator just a second ago. When I plug this into my calculator into the function and I plug in -2, my answer is 45. So when it's asking P of this -2, your remainder is actually the solution when you plug that in. It's kind of cool. All right, so let's do one more here. I want to do number 8. Using this synthetic division. So I need to be really mindful this time. P of x equals 2x to the 4th plus 8x cubed plus 2x plus 8. And then we have x plus 4. So I'm only going to use the coefficients. Notice that I'm still missing an x squared. So I need to make sure that I account for that x squared, that I have them all in order. And then I need to use the solution to this x value here. So it's -4. So it's the flip-flopped. All right, let's set this up. So we have like the little upside down guy here. We're going to plug -4 out here, and we're just going to use our coefficients. We have 2, 8, 0, 2, and 8. And under this last term, I'm going to put a little line, and this tells me what my remainder is. So we'll bring down the 2. 4 times -2 is -8. Oh, that's nice. 0. 4 times 0 is 0. We have another 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. And -4 times 2 is -8. So notice here, this is my remainder, right? So remember, when I don't have a remainder, then it is a factor. So this is our remainder. This is our constant. This is our x value, this is x squared, and this is x cubed. I like to write it underneath so I remember. So my solution for this is x cubed plus 2. Huh, that's interesting, huh? So when I divide 2x to the 4th plus 8x cubed plus 2x plus 8 divided by x plus 4, this is my solution. And when you have no remainder, it is a factor, is a factor. So remember, when you have a remainder, it's not a factor. When there's no remainder, it is a factor. Okay, so what I want you to do, this is the back here. So please try number 3 for the long division, and please try number 5 for the synthetic division, and we will go over those in class together.